What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Josh Darville here again, and we're talking about how there's these costs that occur on a population whenever you start to import all of these immigrants who don't speak the language and don't want to assimilate, and there's costs associated with it, which are a burden for everybody else that are legal living American citizens. So let's just go through a few quick examples. Number one is, let's just say your kids go to school, and now all of a sudden they have to go to school, and the teacher has to take time out of teaching to help kids whose language isn't English as a first language, and so that costs your kids the time in that education. Or let's say there are let's just say the cost of insurance. As there's more drivers on the road, there's more accidents. If you want to look up stats on accidents that happen with legal versus illegal immigrants and all that stuff, there are some interesting stats out there. I encourage you to go check that out. But anyway, so that incurs more increased costs than everybody else. The insurance company raises everyone's rates, and that's a cost. When it comes to using even just things like the public roads, there's additional wear and tear. Using the public parks, there's more people there, and some of those people, they haven't paid into the system. They haven't been doing the things that the American citizens, that is for us, not for everybody else. You know, I had a thought. We were at DC recently, and they have all these awesome, amazing Smithsonian museums, right? And it's free. And it was interesting because it's free to anyone who wants to walk up. But I was thinking that it really should be free for Americans. I don't know that all these other people from other countries who are there, if they're not an American citizen, I think they should be paying to help cover the cost of it. Americans already are taxed enough and are covering the cost of all these things. So it's just, anyway, another example of a cost would be increased crime rates. So if you import a whole lot of immigrants, illegal or otherwise, you tend to see increases in crime. That imposes a cost, a burden on everybody else. So there's this guy, John Mark. He talks about propertarianism and these different costs. So if you want to check out John Mark, propertarianism, they talk about demographics and stuff like that. I don't agree with everything the guy says, and the reason is they tend to say that demographics vote certain ways, and that would, like, let's say black people tend to vote mostly Democrat. Well, that's not true entirely, because when the slaves were freed, they were largely, it was the Republicans that had done much to free the slaves. The KKK was started by the Democratic Party. So then there was what is many refer to in history the Great Switch, which really is kind of a lie, talking about how Democrats started to pick up the mantle of helping black people, and you can go through all that history. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that to say that just because someone's race makes them vote a certain way, that's not true. And the other thing is that through the educational system here in America, you can see that the younger people are, as they're going into these schools, which I call them indoctrination centers. Many schools, you have people that are not teaching how to budget, how to change a tire, how to cook, how to boil water. I mean, like, some people just, they're not getting the basic education, and they're not getting it at home. Most white families have, well, not most, but by and large throughout history, the black families have been destroyed because they've been removing black fathers and not teaching them how to do trades. There's some interesting stuff there, link in the show notes. And so what I see happening is that kids used to be learning a lot from home, and therefore that's why white kids would vote more conservative, and black kids weren't learning that stuff at home, and they were being taught. Majority of teachers are women. Women teach that motherly instinct, and the motherly instinct says, well, that guy has so much he can afford to help other people, and so they'll justify their theft of someone else, and they teach other people this, and that's why the young, regardless of race, are far more likely to vote Democrat, socialist, communist. And those three kind of interchange. So anyway, these are some of my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this little conversation. Let me know what you think. And again, I don't agree with the demographics of voting. I think it's more education. And however, it is interesting to look at the demographics of voting. And again, check out John Mark my words, and some of his videos. They're pretty interesting. See you later.